says its entire membership of 36 churches and organizations will take part in the campaign. The church and the community liaison director, Mzondele Molo, says the launch will start with a 2-hour online service at midday. All right, we were discussing what's happening at the ANC meeting earlier on. You heard what Ntsikelelo had to say with regards to the latest development, reportedly that Cyril Ramaphosa, president of the ANC, will be subjecting himself to the Integrity Commission. I want to bring in now Dr Ntsikelelo Breakfast, political analyst, to get his take on what's happening there. Dr. Breakfast, very good morning to you.
Thank you very much, sir, for having me.
Good to have you on the program. The president of the ANC subjecting himself to the Integrity Commission, or so we understand. Your take?
Yeah, I think the advantage of Msholozi is that his background of security gives him an upper hand, in the sense that if you look at his maneuverability, it is always rooted in strategic theory. In particular, if you look at the series of attacks that he unleashed, starting off by the letter of Lungisa. Subsequently, there was another letter by Tony Yengeni, and then there was the letter by Msholozi himself, and then there was also another statement that was made by Mzwandile Masina. I don't think that we can separate those series of attacks. I think it is part of the grand strategy by the NDZ to dislodge Ramaphosa. I don't think that he has ever been accepted, despite the fact that there were democratic outcomes of another. I mean, if you look at, for instance, the letter by Msholozi, it speaks volumes about the fact that Msholozi has always perceived him not to have been elected legitimately. So I think the ANC at the moment is at war against itself, and I think the only way out, from my standpoint, is a split. Because, I mean, clearly, the way things are is not the way things should be.
When you look at the ANC President Cyril Ramaphosa's appearance at the Integrity Commission, I mean, that was the only way forward, some would say, because, I mean, when you look at the ANC's 54th National Conference resolutions and what the president said in his letter to ANC members, I guess he didn't have a chance. He had to go before the commission.
Look, whether you like it or not, let's be fair and square to the NDZ camp. There have been people who are aligned to the president, who have used social capital alongside political capital in pursuit of accumulation in order to have some kind of upward social mobility. I mean, there have been many people who are aligned to the president, who have been appointed, people who are doing business with the state machinery. So the NDZ camp is taking a strategic advantage of those things by taking a swipe at the president. So even the CR17 camp is also affected. So there was no other way out than this one of subjecting himself to the Integrity Commission, given the fact that even also Ace Mahashula is expected to appear there.
Right, I meant he didn't have a choice, not a chance. But from what we've heard from Mr. Ramaphosa, from Mr. Zuma, from Mr. Yengeni, from Mr. Masina, what does that tell you about the ANC's unity project? You know, when the ANC met at its conference in Nasrec, there was an emphasis on unity. From your vantage point, do you see any indication that there's progress being made on the unity project, or that the cracks are, in fact, getting deeper?
There has never ever been progress or unity or anything of the sort. Because the president is accused of serious things like defying the resolutions of a conference, not implementing the land reform, radical economic transformation, nationalization of the Reserve Bank, blah, blah, blah. And the fact that, I'm sorry, I mean, to say this, but he's used by, white monopoly capital. I mean, that is a scathing attack. In my opinion, anyone who speaks like that in public about the president, normally that person should be subjected to a DC. Yes, you have a right to express yourself, but all human rights are subjected to limitation clause. So you can see that these people are at war. And like I said, I mean, in my opinion, the only way out is a split. Otherwise, the ANC is going to go around in circles over and over again.
What do you reckon, Dr. Breakfast, post the NEC meeting? What would be a win for the ANC? What do they need to do in order to say, and I guess, gain the public's trust back?
I think ideally is to attack problems hard and be soft on each other. I think that is a best model of conflict management. So that I don't know, maybe both camps can have a win-win situation, but at the same time, you also have, I would say, the general population, people who want to see a government that takes a stand against corruption, a government that has leaders that people in the public can look up to. So the ANC has serious challenges.
But, in terms of practical, realistic solutions on the table, and considering the current political environment and the allegations of corruption leveled at some of its members, if the ANC wants to remain relevant to the South African body politic, what do they need to do? What sort of realistic solutions should be on the table at this NEC meeting?
I think ideally it could have been good if, for instance, some of the people who were implicated in corruption were asked to step aside. But if you say this or that one must step aside, then it means that almost, the entire leadership must step aside. Hence, there's nothing concrete, in my opinion, that came out of the meeting that was held yesterday. So I guess the ANC, like other liberation movements, is going down the drain.
Dr. Ntsikelelo Breakfast, we thank you very much indeed for your perspective. Be well, sir.
Thank you very much, sir.
All right, that was analyst Dr. Ntsikelelo Breakfast giving us his take on what's the latest developments that's coming out of the NEC meeting. We have a very competent team of political journalists covering this story for us. So the very latest, no doubt you'll hear it first right here on SABC News. Quick break, more news next.